Hey, Jason here, founder of WeOutreach, and today I just wanted to show you the quick and easy tool that we use at WeOutreach to help us avoid high-risk link farms in our link building campaigns. So I'll firstly just go through a quick example to show you how it works, then we'll go back a bit more slowly and I'll explain why it works in the way it does, the logic of why we set it up this way, and how you can implement it for yourself. So let's get started with a quick example. Let's imagine that we are assessing the quality of mentalitch.com. I would just enter that in my spreadsheet tool here, then copy all of the Ahrefs links that are automatically generated, open all of those URLs at once, and then I can just Control Tab through each of these one by one and click this bookmarklet that I've set up that has some very basic JavaScript on each of the pages. On the last one, I'll press the second bookmarklet here, then go back to my spreadsheet and just paste, and it will paste in some data that we pulled from those Ahrefs tabs, and it gives us an overall pass or failing grade. A pass meaning that it's a high quality site, it's not a link farm. A fail meaning that it's more high risk, and we've seen some signals on the website that make us hesitate about this, and probably we wouldn't build a link on a site that fails this tool. If you know anything about SEO, this might seem too fast and simple for you to be effective. But actually what we're using here are some simple signals that let us catch out these bad websites and let through the good websites. And the thing is, you could do a more in-depth, like comprehensive analysis of a website like Mentalwitch in the example we just went through. But with a deep analysis, you're going to get basically the same result that we're getting by just looking for these like high level, very fast signals. And that's why we set up the tool in this way, because it's very quick and fast. It's quite brainless. You could give this to just a VA or anyone else on your team who can help you run through websites and assess the quality just like this in a very quick way. And it just saves a ton of time, basically. You can get mostly the same result just by looking for these quick signals as you would by like sitting down and doing like a full in-depth analysis of these websites. So it's a great, fast, like 80-20 solution. So just to go over the obvious here for a second, let's answer the question, what is a link farm? If you're into SEO, you probably already know this, but these are websites that just exist purely to link out to other websites. They've become more and more common in this age of outreach-based link building, as websites are just getting more and more emails like asking for links. Many of them have just purely sold out and just started selling links to anyone who will ask, basically. And the problem with these is that they can pose a risk for your SEO, because if you get links on these same websites that are linking out to all of these other low quality, shady places, you're kind of associating your website with them. And the real risk is that if a website does this too excessively, there's a risk that Google can identify this website because the pattern of linking out to low quality places is just too strong. And then your website gets wrapped up in this assessment from Google as well. And then probably the result is just not good for your website. Either Google punishes websites who get links from these low quality places because Google don't like you building links in an unnatural way, or at the very best, they just remove the value of the link that you've gotten from this website. So it's a waste of your time, waste of your money. And as well, if you've grown a website based on like getting links from these types of websites, and maybe it works for a while, then Google changes the way they view the sites, and then you lose the value that you got from those links, then you can see a sudden drop in search traffic. And it's just all around bad news. And I think they're too much on the high risk side of link building. So the question is, how do you identify these link farms and what sort of criteria should you use to identify them so that you can avoid them and make sure you don't get caught up in all of this excessive risk that we just talked about? And I think the way that makes the most sense is to just look at the outbound link profile of the website that you're thinking about and looking at the other places to where they link, because that's the whole issue here. If they link to too many places that are low quality and they're like obviously low quality outbound links, that's what you want to avoid getting wrapped up in. And that's where the logic of our tool comes in. What we basically ran through in the process at the start of this video is taking a quick look at the outbound link profile of the website that we were analyzing, mentalwitch.com in this case, and looking for indications of them linking to industries that are typically a strong signal of a low quality website, basically. So the ones we went through, like casino websites, essay writing services, CBD websites, many link farms have strong patterns of linking to these types of websites. And so rather than doing a deep analysis of each individual website, we know that when we do a deep analysis all of the lowest quality websites will have these strong patterns of linking to these sort of industries anyway. So why don't we just cut out all the hard work and just do a very quick check, just like we did at the start of the video, to see what are the patterns like of linking to these places, and then it works out pretty effectively. It turns out to be a pretty effective check. We tried many different things for this over the years, and this one came out pretty effectively. And at the end of the day, when you put websites through this type of check, and then you check them yourself as like an experienced SEO person at the end of the day. Like to me, I've been doing SEO for over 10 years. And when I check the websites that pass this tool and fail this tool, I feel the ones that pass, like, yes, I would like a link from these when I go and do a deeper analysis. And the ones that fail, I also feel, yeah, I wouldn't want a link on these. And so basically this super fast and simple tool does a really good job of getting to the bottom of the quality check very quickly. Another important thing that's captured by this tool is that link farms exist on a spectrum, in my view, of SEO and of the internet. So it's not like you do a simple search and see like a single link from a site to like an essay writing service, and then you just write off the whole website like, no, I can never get a link from here. That's not really practical. And more so what you want to look for is like a strong pattern of linking out to websites like this. So not just a single low quality outbound link, but a pattern of always having these low quality outbound links. And the problem is that you really can't afford to restrict your quality standards with websites too much, because there's only so many websites out there that are going to respond to your outreach campaigns and actually be open to building a link to your website. And at the end of the day, many of these are doing some sort of like low quality, they will have some sort of low quality outbound links. And so you need to look at it in a more nuanced way and decide, like, is the pattern too strong for me to build a link on this website? Or, okay, like there's a handful of low quality outbound links that I can see, but it's not a strong pattern. And so I don't think that the risk of a Google penalty from this website is high. And so, okay, so I can go and build that link, because at the end of the day, you need to build enough links to get the benefit from those links as well on your website. And some people fall into the trap of being too restrictive with their link quality, and more restrictive than the algorithm is with link quality, which makes no sense, because you have your competitors out there who have like a more appropriate quality standard, and they just end up building more links than you, which aren't excessively risky and which do impact the algorithm. And then they have more links than you, and then you end up losing in the long run. And so that's kind of a key thing to understand about this too. You need to look at link farms in this sort of spectrum way. So with all of that out of the way, let's go and look at the tool again and how it actually works and how you can implement this for yourself. So as I mentioned, we're looking for signs that a website has a strong pattern of linking out to websites in these different spaces: casino websites, essay writing services, all these classic types of industries that are associated with link farms. And the way that we're doing this is in Ahrefs, in these Ahrefs reports that we ran through. It's just going to the linked domains report in Ahrefs and putting in a keyword into the domain list. So for example, in this one, we're filtering for domains that have the word casino in them. Very simple, obvious keyword. And you can see on this website, we get a bunch of hits for this. And then we're doing the same for each of them. So again, looking for domains that contain essay. And again, we get a bunch of hits. And yeah, like this is very simple. And there's definitely some other websites some other gambling websites or casino websites that mentalich.com links to that don't have specifically casino in their actual domain name, and we wouldn't pick up those in this count. But that doesn't matter. We're not trying to be precise. We're just roughly trying to get a sense as quickly as we can of the patterns of the low quality outbound links of this website. So the way that works is whatever website you're analyzing, you just put it into the domain cell here, and then it will edit all of these Ahrefs links so that it opens this filtered outbound links profile report for each of the different keywords that we're looking for. Then we can just copy all of these as we did at the start of the video. Then we have this Chrome extension, which lets you open multiple URLs at once. I can paste it in there, click open URLs, and it will open the tabs that we had just like this. And then we have two bookmarklets that will, this first bookmarklet, every time I click it, it's looking at the page that we have open, and it's looking for this element of the page where the number of domains is listed, and it's just picking up this number here, the 365. Then I go to the next page, and again, I can use Control Tab on my keyboard to go through the pages really quickly. Just hit the bookmarklet on each one, and it's just picking up the number of domains from each tab. Then once I get through to the last one, I click the second bookmarklet, and it will just take it will copy all of the numbers of domains that we've picked up as we've run through and put them on my clipboard, so that when I go back to the sheet, I can just paste the numbers here and I get all of the numbers in here. And then after that, the sheet is using some data from the bottom here, or some settings from the bottom of the sheet to decide whether this website should be a pass or a fail. So you can change the settings at the bottom of the sheet to fit whatever your quality standards are for the websites that you're looking at. So the link limit here is the maximum number of bad links per category. So for example, if any of these, casino, essay, or so on, has 3 or more links, then we would consider it to have a strong pattern of linking out to that industry. So with this first link limit at 3, you can see if I changed VPNs to 2, then the website would become would be a passing website, because with this category limit, we've set it so that we need all 5 of the categories to exceed the link limit of 3 for it to be a failing website. If I change this to 4, then I can change this back to 2 with VPNs, you can see that it still fails because we've changed the requirements down here. So you can tweak this based on what you feel are acceptable limits and what your risk tolerance is with link building. But just keep in mind that the further you restrict this, the more link building opportunities you will lose, because you're just filtering out more and more websites that don't pass your quality standards. And that's the dynamic and balance you need to keep in mind when you're tweaking these settings. The way that we use these settings at We Outreach is to come up with something that feels balanced. And so some way that you can do this for yourself is to take a list of 50 websites or something like that, and a few times go through and put them through this quality check with a few different variations, and see how changing your settings impacts the websites which will pass and fail your quality check, and just see how you feel about that. And that will let you or help you to hone in on which specific settings are going to be the best fit with you. So finally, how can you set this up for yourself? Very simple. You just create a copy of this Google Sheet. You'll find a link to it wherever you're seeing this video. And then also wherever you see that link, you will also see links to the JavaScript that you need for the bookmarklets that we went through in this video. Setting up the bookmarklets is very easy. You just go into your Chrome bookmarks and put in the JavaScript and a name. I've named mine Ahrefs 1 and 2, and put the JavaScript, put the URL of the bookmark, put it in your bookmarks bar folder of Chrome, and then it will appear on this bar at the top of Chrome, and then you're ready to go. And then you just use it in the way that I described earlier. Well, this tool is good in itself, and you can use it to filter websites based on the quality of their outbound link profile. At We Outreach, we actually use this as part of a wider quality assessment that takes into account a few more factors. So we're looking at another sheet right now where you can see this, and you can see that the same check is just built into like the middle of this sheet as part of it. And then we're also looking at the domain rating and the traffic and a few other things. And the point here is that you can balance these metrics against each other. So a low quality outbound link profile, let's say that it is like a somewhat low quality outbound link profile. There's like somewhat of a strong pattern of linking out to low quality places. So that's obviously, you could put that in the con list of a website where you're considering building a link. And on the other hand, imagine that the DR is really high and the traffic is really high and it's super relevant. Now you don't just have this sort of assessment of the low quality or of the outbound link profile on the one hand, you have it sort of counterbalanced by other positive things about the website where you're considering building the link. And link building these days should really be done in this way, where you're balancing the good and the bad factors against each other like this. And this is outside the scope of this video, but there will be some other link wherever you're seeing this video that will do a breakdown of this full quality tool if you'd like to learn more about this and how we build in this outbound link profile assessment into a more thorough quality check for our whole website. I hope you found this video useful, you got something from it, and you can implement this into your own link building processes. Let me know what you thought, drop a comment or send me a message wherever you're seeing this. I really would like to know what you think and how I could make this better, how you do it yourself, any ideas you have, what you want to know about how we do things at We Outreach. And as always, if you ever need help with your link building, feel free to check us out at weoutreach.com and we'll be happy to have a chat. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.